Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, March the 21st, and time once again for the mailbag. I hope you guys have had a great couple of weeks, great weekend. Been a while since I've posted any new content, I know. My little outpatient surgery last week, totally routine, it was fine. But, you know, all of the encouraging comments and encouraging words that you all gave me is very much appreciated. But, yeah. Piece of cake, but I've just been taking it easy the last few days. Haven't really been worrying about working or production or anything like that. But I'm back in it. There was a review this morning, just a couple of hours ago. You may want to check that out. Very anticipated book. And as for this week's mailbag, still pretty modest. I'm going to say I have about 6 or 7 packages. Again, it's nothing like it used to be, but they're coming in. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and see what they are. Okay, this first one is from a publisher new to me, first time working with them. They're Turner Publishing Company out of Nashville. So let's see what we have, shall we? Okay. Very happy to have this. This was one of my anticipated horror releases for 2022. It's called A Black and Endless Sky. The author is Matthew Lyons, and let's see what we have. This is, it says that it actually came out back on March the 15th. So I guess that would have been like this past week. All right, not that far in the past. It's all bleeding together. But anyway, this one says, from the author of The Night Will Find Us comes a white-knuckled horror thriller set across the American Southwest. Road trips can be hell. Siblings Jonah and Nell Talbot used to be inseparable. But ever since Jonah suddenly blew town 12 years ago, they couldn't be more distant. Now, in the wake of Jonah's divorce, they embark on a cross-country road trip back to their hometown of Albuquerque, hoping to mend their broken relationship along the way. But when a strange accident befalls Nell at an abandoned industrial site somewhere in the Nevada desert, she begins experiencing ghastly visions and exhibiting terrifying otherworldly symptoms. As their journey through the desolate American Southwest reveals the grotesque change happening within his sister, one thing becomes clear to Jonah. It's not only Nell in there anymore. Pursued by a mysterious stranger who knows far more about Nell's worsening condition than they let on, the siblings race to find a way to help Nell and escape the desert before they're met with a violent, bloody end. But there are far worse things lurking in the desert ahead, some of them just beneath the skin. Wow, okay, yeah, this is really awesome because having just come off some Antarctic horror, with all the white spaces, now we get this one, desert horror. And of course, the American desert Southwest is my favorite part of the country, geologically speaking. It's just so beautiful down there. So, yeah, A Black and Endless Sky available now from Turner Publishing. And next up, this one is in from William Morrow, and I'm very happy to see this. I actually didn't really know this was coming out. I like to think I'm attuned to upcoming releases, but somehow Peng Shepherd had a new book coming out, and I was none the wiser. But I have it now. It's called The Cartographers. Peng Shepherd, the author of The Book of M from a few years back. And let's see, do we have a... No, we don't. No, we don't. Okay, I'll read the flap. It says, from the critically acclaimed author of The Book of M, a highly imaginative thriller about a young woman who discovers that a strange map in her deceased father's belongings holds an incredible deadly secret, one that will lead her on an extraordinary adventure into the truth about her family's dark history. What is the purpose of a map? Nell Young's whole life and greatest passion is cartography. Her father, Dr. Daniel Young, is a legend in the field and Nell's personal hero, but she hasn't seen or spoken to him ever since he cruelly fired her and destroyed her reputation after an argument over an old, cheap gas station highway map. That's very petty, Dad. Anyway, but when Dr. Young is found dead in his office at the New York Public Library, with the very same seemingly worthless map hidden in his desk, Nell can't resist investigating. To her surprise, she soon discovers that the map is incredibly valuable and exceedingly rare. In fact, she may now have the only copy left in existence. because a mysterious collector has been hunting down and destroying every last one, along with anyone who gets in the way. But why? To answer that question, Nell embarks on a dangerous journey to reveal a dark family secret and discovers the true power that lies in maps. Perfect for fans of Joe Hill and V.E. Schwab, The Cartographers is an ode to art and science, history and magic, a spectacularly imaginative modern story about an ancient craft and places still undiscovered. Ooh, all right. I love the eerie vibe of that one. Okay, well, this is The Cartographers, and I believe, yes, this is another one that came out, I think, just last week from William Morrow in hardcover. All right, moving on down the stack. This one is in from HarperCollins. And this is an arc for a book called Tear Down the Throne. The author is Jennifer Estep. And apparently this is the second book in her trilogy called the Gargoyle Queen trilogy. First book was Capture the Crown. So some of you may have seen that around. Some of you may have read that. Tear Down the Throne is the second one. This one comes out in May. The last one will be called Conquer the Kingdom. Don't have a date on that one yet, but anyway, for the second one, well, what can I say that won't be so super spoilery? Probably not much. But it just says best-selling author Jennifer Estep continues her Gargoyle Queen epic fantasy series in this second installment where magic reigns, alliances are tested, and a dangerous attraction could tear down a throne. Crown Princess, clever spy, powerful mind magier, Gemma Ripley of Andvari is all those things, and she is determined to stop an enemy from using magical tearstone, or tearstone, one of those, weapons, to conquer her kingdom. I'm going to stop there, again, to avoid spoilers, but, so yeah, I guess it's that kind of thing. But Tear Down the Throne, continuing the Gargoyle Queen trilogy, available from Harper Voyager in May. Okay, so the next three books I have for you are all in these white envelopes. You know what that means. Macmillan. So these are probably all going to be Tor books or Tor.com books. And the first one is a Tor.com release. This is the new book by Sylvain Neuvel, Until the Last of Me. This is the second book in his Take Them to the Stars trilogy, is what it's apparently called. The first one was called A History of What Comes Next. And so it says, showing that truth is stranger than fiction, Neuvel weaves a sci-fi thriller reminiscent of Blake Crouch and Andy Weir, blending a fast-moving, darkly satirical look at the 1960s space race with an exploration of the amorality of progress and the nature of violence. First rule is the most important, always run, never fight. For generations, Mia's family has shaped human history to push them to the stars. The year is 1968, and she is on the cusp of destiny, poised to launch the first humans into space, but she cannot take them to the stars, not quite yet. Her adversary is at her heels, the future of the planet at stake, and obeying the first rule is no longer an option. All right, then. So this is Until the Last of Me, and it comes out on the 29th, so a week from tomorrow, in hardcover from Tor.com Publishing. Okay, this next one I am delighted to have. This is in from Nightfire, and it's Dark Stars. This is an upcoming, it's coming, well, as of tomorrow, upcoming tomorrow, a new horror anthology edited by John F.D. Taff. It says it's a tribute to horror's long-standing short fiction legacy, featuring 12 terrifying original stories from today's most noteworthy authors. And those noteworthy authors include Chesia Burke, Ramsey Campbell, Gemma Files, Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Katsu, Carolyn Kepnes, John Langan, Livia Llewellyn, Josh Mallerman, Usman T. Malik, Priya Sharma, and John F.D. Taff himself. All right, good lineup. Within these pages, you'll find tales of dead men walking, an insidious secret summer fling, an island harboring unspeakable power, and a dark hallway that beckons. You'll encounter terrible monsters, both human and supernatural, and be forever changed. The stories in Dark Stars run the gamut from traditional to modern, from dark fantasy to neo-noir, from explorations of beloved horror tropes to the unknown, possibly unknowable threats. It's all in here because it's all out there now in horror. All right then. So this looks, yeah, pretty. It's an homage to the 1980 classic horror anthology Dark Forces, edited by Kirby McCauley, which I can remember. I mean, I was a very, very little boy at the time, at that particular date. But yeah, I mean, moving on. That was an anthology that had a lot of legs. So you could not have been a new 80s reader and interested in scary stories and not have been aware of Dark Forces. All right, so Dark Stars out tomorrow from Nightfire. And the last of the tour packages, I'm very happy to have this. It is Sweep of Stars by Maurice Broaddus. I've already had this one as an ARC. You've probably already seen me talk about it here, but I guess I'll talk about it again. Yeah, very happy to see this one, and it is in my immediate queue. Coming up very, very soon here, so keep an eye out. This one comes out in hardcover from Tor next week, so on the 29th. And it says, powerful, sweeping Afrofuturist space opera. It says Black Panther meets the Expanse. There you go. All right. The Mungano Empire split away from Old Earth and transformed their struggles into utopia. They freed themselves from the endless wars and oppression of their home planet to shape their own futures and create a far-reaching coalition of city-states that stretched from Earth to Mars to Titan. With the wisdom of their ancestors, the power of their warriors, and the vision of their scientists, they charted a course to a better future. But the old powers, the ones that still resent their success and crave their failure, have set plans in motion to destroy all that they have built. All right, then. So this one, like I said, it will be out next week in hardcover from Tor, Sweep of Stars by Maurice Broaddus. And last, but by no means least, in this week's little batch, we have a little package from World Weaver Press. Really nice small press that I've heard from several times in the past. So let's see what they've brought us this week. All right, it's another one of their themed anthologies. World Weaver Press does quite a few of these, and they're all pretty nice. This one is called Mothers of Enchantment, so it's a fantasy anthology, and these are new tales of fairy godmothers. All right, this one comes out on April the 19th, and let's see what it says. We remember her best as the generous fairy who dresses Cinderella and handles transportation while she's at it. But that's just the most famous fairy godmother's tale. With a little imagination, you'll find that fairy godmothers and godfathers appear in many varied forms. The authors in this anthology have crafted new tales that reimagine the fairy godmother and her role. A young fairy grapples with imposter syndrome as she takes up her new appointment as godmother. Immortal sisters bestow blessings and curses on princesses as a way to battle the patriarchal fairy godfathers. Cute. A struggling artist receives a godmother's help to impress at her high school reunion. Sparing the life of a moth leads to magical help from an unexpected protector. Retellings of Pinocchio, Rumpelstiltskin, Beauty and the Beast, and the Frog Prince show the magic of these stories in a whole new light. Infused with modern sensibilities, but honoring the tradition of fairy tales, these dozen stories will enchant and inspire you. Going to take a quick look here at the contents. Usually these are going to be indie authors, so probably not names who are familiar to you, very much so, but a good chance to discover some new talent, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of these names, but that's fine, because that is what reading is all about, is it not? Okay, so, Mothers of Enchantment, New Tales of Fairy Godmothers, available from World Weaver Press on April the 19th. All right, and that's all I have for you on this week's mailbag. You guys know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you and which you would like to see me prioritize for review. Otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so yet. That is what helps the channel to grow. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store, and I also have a Patreon. But what I'm doing right now at this moment in time is, if anyone is in a money-donating mood, please do not give it to me right now. Go online, find some sort of aid organization that is helping the survivors and the refugees of the Ukraine invasion. Those are a bunch of folks in a terrible, horrific, unimaginable situation that, we are very fortunate ourselves not to be in, and they can really, really use all of our love and support. So, For those of you who are supporting my Patreon, thank you all so very much. I use the Patreon money to pay Matt Olson, my extremely gifted channel artist, for all of the wonderful thumbnails he does for me, including this new series of rotating thumbnails that I'm going to be doing for the mailbags, to kind of freshen things up a bit, not be so samey around here, right? So anyway, his work is great. I'm very lucky to have him, and thank you all so much if you are one of my Patreons for helping me support him. Also, I want to thank the rest of you for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube, and until I see all of you next time, stay safe and healthy, and happy reading.